Okay, Assalamualaikum and good day and hi for all. How are you, class? Hopefully, all of you are in a good condition, in a good shape. Okay, for today, we will discuss about the topic into the future and beyond. And before we further discuss or further explanation about this topic, I would like to state the several objectives that we are targeted for to achieve. The first objective is for this topic is to understand what is the concept behind into the future and beyond. The second objective is to understand the element of future in the associate of business information system. And the third objective is to understand or to know the consequences from the element of future in context business information system. Okay, Okay, for the first place, we must understand what is the concept of into the future. I believe all of you have experienced or noticed that some of technology that you use or useful for the past 20 years or during your primary school is not really relevant or useful for nowadays. That experience that you are facing for is a reflect to the concept our topic for today, which is into the future, which is the world keep changing in almost every aspect, especially in context of information system. And based on this explanation of and based on this concept, I would like to relate it based on my experience, which is reminiscing on the past 20 or 35 years. During my primary school, um, I'm during I'm at the Form 5 and also during I'm taking my diploma. The cyber cafe is a very popular place and also a very place that very neat for the people because that time if we want to access to the internet, we must go to the near town and go to the new shop, which is a cyber cafe. And then that time there is some house or people that can afford to uh, to uh, to have a connection internet in the house. But for my case, I don't have the internet connection in my house, so I need go to the nearest cyber cafe to access the internet. And then that time, you must pay 5 ringgit for half an hour, and also maybe and also some of shop they give a package if you can take 3 hours. Maybe you just pay for 20 ringgit at that time. And that time, that place is very popular. Sometimes you must, to wait outside the shop because that shop is very crowded, very lots of people. For the first place, that shop functioning for the access for the internet. But during I think around 2010, 2008, 2009, that cyber cafe they start to change, not really for surfing internet but for the gaming purpose. And people just go to the cyber cafe because they want to play with their friend or to play with another people in that shop. Another thing is the past 20 years is the dial-up internet. After the time pass within around 2000, I think around 2005. There is more affordable for the people. If they want have the connection, if they want have the internet connection at the home. So the dial-up internet is the option for that time. But of course, the level of the speed is not same in compared to nowadays. And I still remember that time, even you want to open the Yahoo, the wall of Yahoo, it will take you several minutes uh, because the internet is not really good. And then if I want to open the portal during I'm taking my diploma, it's like text. Sometimes you cannot really enter that portal. You must keep refreshing until you are success to enter the portal. And then that time also, um, people, the technology of email are still very new, because uh, not really many people have a skill. I put the word skill. Have a skill to use the email. Sometimes you must ask your friend how to set the email, because the setting of email that time is not really a friendly user if we compare to nowadays. And then if you ask the friend if they have the email, that friend is already considered very advanced, because that time it's very rare people are using the email. And of course during our tech diploma, the email are already introduced, but we are not really utilize that email in compare for nowadays. And for the social media, at that time we don't have any Facebook, or we don't have the Instagram. The only thing page that very popular at that time is the Friendster. And uh, all of us, especially for the woman, for the men is not really in of this Friendster, but for women, yeah, they will go to the cyber cafe and they will setting the page for the Friendster, because it's like to connect to other people, to know their friend, something like that. And then that time, the Android are not really popular and also not really exist. Most of people are using Nokia, and of course the business also offer another brand such as Motorola and also Ericsson, Sony, but most of people prefer to use Nokia compared to other brand, because it's that phone is very reliable, and also it's not yeah, it not give you a troublesome and an error during you use that phone. Or in other words, that phone is very long last and very reliable. And in terms of operating system, I still remember the first operating system I used is Windows 98. And that time, that experience is not really like what you used to now. After several years, there is a new introduced operating system by the Windows, which is Windows XP. That time, all of us want to change our laptop, want to change our operating system, because we want to use the Windows XP, because the appearance, because the system is much beautiful, it's much clear, very friendly user compared to the Windows 98. And after that, they come out with the Windows Vista, and then for nowadays we have a Windows 10, Windows 8, and also for the Apple user, they have their operating system. Okay, the concept of into the future, we also can look from the developing country, and also the third world country, which is we can say that developed country such as Japan is 20 years or 30 years is more advanced compared to the developing country and the third world country. And because of these differences, some of the technology offer in the developed country is not offer at the developing and also third world country. And then what we can say this phenomena is the differences in term of technology offer, and also the differences in term of technology adaptability. Of course, for the developed country, the people at the developed country, the rate of adaptability of the technology is much higher compared to the developing country and the third world country. And then the technology offer also have a differences, or in other words, we can say that if living in the developing country and we have opportunity to visit to the developed country, we can see that some of technology offer that developed country are not offered in our country, which is a developing country. So we can expect that within 10, 20 or more soon, we can enjoy that type of technology. But for nowadays, the rate of adaptability or the transfer technology is much higher compared to the previous. Okay, based on this, the interaction between the country, I would like to give some of the example. For the first example, I would like to give in terms of transportation, which is this picture. You can see that this high-speed train or the bullet train. Some of the country already offer this type of technology for years or for decades, but most of the in the developing country, also third world country, not offer this type of technology. And for the business activity, such as delivering by using the drone, some of the country already implement this type of delivering system, but some of less developed country are still in the phase of research, and because the company want to know that if they implement this type of system or delivery system, are they will beneficial, or are the society will able to accept that type of technology. And the third example is the 5G, which is some of the country already extensively use this type of technology, but some of the country still in the phase of 4G and also 3G. But hopefully, and soon, all of us can enjoy this technology, which is 5G. Another example is the electric bus. Like I said, some of developed country and some of developing country already use the electric bus as extensively. But of course, a lot of countries are still in the phase to allocate the budget, also still in the phase in the research whether this type of technology are ready to implement in that country or in that region. And then another example is the virtual reality or AR, augmented reality. This technology is origin is in the gaming industry, but it expand to the industrial purpose, which is people or the designer or the engineer can use this technology to the side and visualize whether the design are really applicable to put in that area or fit with the main structure. And from that technology, the engineer or designer can come out with a good report, which is they know which part they want to improve and which part they can eliminate, or maybe they can change the material that used to construct the design or that platform. Okay, I believe all of you already understand what is the concept into the future, and now we will discuss about the future element in context of associate business information system. First, in the context of business organization, which is a use technology of information system as for future prediction, such as management information system. As we know, information system is very closely or related to the abundance or a lot of information, and that information are generated by the system that operate in purpose to monitoring or coordinating in the related department, such as inventory, production, and also the accounting. And that system, such as MIS, will produce the information, useful information, and the manager will use that information to come out with the future prediction, which is maybe we need a new employee for the inventory department, or we need a new system for the inventory department. But the second is use information technology for decision making process related. Okay, this is about how the manager will use the information to formulate a good or soundful decision making, or we can set that it's about how the manager to clarify the sound strategy for the future. I take example on hotel industry. Usually, the hotel company will use the hotel reservation system, and that system uh, will record that which type of room that really favorable by the customer, or how long that customer will stay at the type of room. And then after their analysis and record that all that information, the manager will come out with a good report, and that report will help the manager to come out with the good decision making for what they can do for the next season or for next year. For the third is the organization activity. This is about the activity that maybe a main activity for that company, or the sub or the complement activity for the support for the main activity. Okay, such as I take example Amazon and also the Google. They are planning to use drone delivery as extensively to do the delivery of things or to deliver goods. And if you look at the UAE, they already implement the drone delivery in purpose of emergency state. And then the Amazon also already implement or use the robotic technology in the warehouse, which is based on the report. They said that based on some article, they said that that system really efficient, very reduce the cost, and also almost no error uh, in the in the operating the goods or the intersection of goods in the warehouse. And then this picture depicting the hotel reservation at the Japan, which is there is no employee at the hotel. All of the reservation, all the services is conducted by robot. And the people just come to the hotel and key in their information, and they will enjoy the service as usual. Okay, next is for the future element associate business information system is the utilization of the big data. The big data is relate the amount of data, very big amount of data that that contain the behavior or the pattern of the consumer, prospect, or the society. And usually, the big data is useful for the company that will come out with a new product, or will come out with a new advancement product, which means they already have this product, but they want to put some new features to cater the demand or the changes of the people. And the big data is very popular related to the medical or pharmacy industry, which is to come out with medicine, also a vaccine. Next is the emergence of the future internet and a Web 3.0. A Web 3.0, if you compare to the Web 2.0, Web 3.0 is related to the platform or to the system that integrate uh, all the related page or related website, which is some of source said that they have around 600 billion websites or the page in the world, and Web 3.0 is a function how to integrate that page or that sources. And Web 3.0 also very close related to the cloud computing and also Internet of Things. And I believe all of you already cover what is all about cloud computing and what is the Internet of Things. For the future Internet, some source said that is said that it's about the Internet too, which is they claim that the internet too will come out with a speed as much as 160 gigabyte per second. And and also the internet too not just provide a very high speed internet, but also they claim that is more safe compared to the previous or currently. And also uh, the error or the issue will be reduced in compared to the currently. And for the business organization must keep understand or keep uh, uh, to keep at the track the changes of the internet, because for nowadays the internet is one of the important needs, or one of the basic needs that all the company needs to the operation on a daily basis. Next is about the privacy concern. If we look for nowadays, there is a movement which is at the Congress. They want to propose, or they want to agree to propose a new policy which is more to keep the privacy of the user, which is the consumer, but at the same time it will not give a very big issue, or give a very big problem for the company to do their business, or in the words, the privacy concern will not really affecting how they make profit, or their performance basis as annually or as daily. For next is the introduce of new internet domain. As we know, for nowadays, there are also lots of internet domains such as .com, .com, or .edu for education, also .org for the non-profit organization. But for the future, there will be introduced a new domain, and for the company need must to stay, or not to stay, keep in the pace the changing of the internet domain, because for the future that internet domain will be important for make the business really in the characteristic, or in the market to targeting the customer or targeting the prospect. And then it's also important the element of the future currency, which is some of the currency already implement and also acceptable by some of the company, but it's not really extensively. But for future, some source they said that there will be a future currency that will be used by almost of the company for the transaction, or for the people for the transaction. And that's mean that the company, that business or the management must to understand how they want to adapt to these changes, to make them not left behind and face a problem that they don't want they don't want to face for. Okay, this picture is this reflect or depicting uh, the trend from the web 1.0, web 2.0, and web 3.0. As we can see, web 2.0, which is nowadays this Facebook introduces more about the social network, but for web 3.0 is about the decentralized data agriculture in the edge of computing infrastructure. And the web 3.0 is uh, still in the process to be mentioned, which is from this graph. uh, we have another 4 years or 3 years before it really matured, or really uh, will be extensively used for the consumer or for the society. Okay, we already discussed about the organization and or management in context of future element associated business information system, and now we will discuss about individual or society. As overall is more or less some of the mentioned may same with the organization, such as first the privacy concern, which is what I already discussed. The privacy concern is uh, to make the privacy of the consumer, or the data that collect for the consumer is really only used for the strictly purpose, and not will leak for the another purpose that we don't want to. And but the privacy concern will be in interest of the individual, but at the same time it will not really affected to the company or organization. Second is use information technology for decision making process related. Okay, if you look the current situation, if we want to buy something, or if we want to attend or to go some places, usually we will go to the internet, go to the Facebook, social media, and searching the information related to things. And then that information that we get, or that information that we'll access, uh, we will synthesize that, and then we'll come out with a good decision whether we want to buy the things, or we want to get that services from that company, or we want to go to that place for vacation or holiday, or for the business purpose. And this is how the information system will be play a part for the future, which is will help us to make a good decision making process. For the third is the utilization of social media for daily life. For nowadays, we can see that social media is play an important role in our society, which is first we want to access latest information, and also it's also related to our business, and also uh, we also use social media for the education purpose. And the fourth is the future banking, payment, and currency. For nowadays, we can see that lots of the organization, lot of business promote to use the cashless, and also promote use the system like a boost or the touch and go. But of course, there is some issue that always we face. The sometimes the system is like sometimes we need wait several minutes before our payment can be approved, and hopefully for near future all of the issue will be eliminated, and we can enjoy that type of services in more smooth and more enjoyable basis. And also at the same time it will help uh, our government as well, or we are in line with the promotion that always set by the organization what is the benefit to use the cashless and another apps. Okay, still in the context of individual and society. If we look to this picture, it show that the trend or the total internet user worldwide statistic, which is in the Asia, which is a lead for the internet user, which is more than 50%, which is equivalent to 2.6 billion, and followed by the Europe and Africa, and also America, and also Middle East. And then if you look to the trend, every year from time to time, the total of internet user keep increasing from year to year, and this pattern show that how important the internet in our daily basis, how important the internet in the daily basis of the consumer, of the society, and of course of the business. And then if you look now, we can do almost everything by the internet connection. We can call people, we can buying the thing, we can get the services, and also we can deal, able to make appointment, just use our, our smartphone and also our laptop with a good internet connection. So this trend will not stop. The trend is will not stop. There is no sign they will reduce. And for the next future, the internet will be our basic need, which is we will need the internet for our daily life. We will need our internet for daily operation of the business as well. Okay, class, we already discussed about the concept of the um, into the future and beyond, and also we also discussed the element that related to the business information and business information system. And now I will discuss about the consequences of the future of information system, or what is the impact, or what is the gain from the future, what the impact from the future of information system. First, in context of business and organization, management or business will able to calculate the risk in more effective, um, which is based on based on the information that the manager get from the system, the manager can can come out with a very comprehensive report, and they will come out with a strategy whether they want to join venture with that company, or whether they want to use a new product, or whether they want to eliminate or to end that product life cycle. And I would like to add that with the advanced technology and information system, some of the product maybe already almost reached their decline stage in the product life cycle, but by insert some element of the social media, or insert some element of the advanced system, that product can be stay a long time at their maturity stage, or they will stay at very long time at the early or decline level at the product life cycle. But the second thing is the business will to have a lot of choice in terms of supplier, and then utilize the networking in terms of domestic international. As we know that with the advance of the future information system, the company can have access to the supplier, not just for the local and also international. Maybe that country are very popular in terms producing that type of the services. So with the advanced information system, the company can use that services from that company which is from another country, or we can export, or we can not export, we can import another product from another country which is maybe that country are very popular from that type of product, which is that raw material from that country is very quality, it's very high quality. So with the future limit system, we can get um, uh, that material or that product from that country. And the next thing is marketing will deploy in more effective channel. For nowadays, we can see that social media is one of the biggest channel that usually used by the company to promote the product. But but of course, we have some channels such as television, radio, and also magazine. Okay, I would like to share to you the evolution of the digital marketing. In the 1992, that time I still remember, we usually accept the message, and that message will be come out with advertising for the product. We keep although receive that message, but nowadays it's very rare we receive that message. And approaching 1997, email marketing. Usually that time I think I experienced this moment. We open our email, and sometimes we receive some email from company, and they will introduce the product, the benefit of the product. I think nowadays they still have the email marketing, but it's not really extensive compared to previous. And starting from 2008, the Facebook ads start to emerge. People start to use the Facebook ads, and we can see if you open the Facebook ads until now, we always bomb with the advertising and with the promotion, something like that. And now 2016 and approaching 2020, or approaching 2021, we have email and social media, we have the online advertising, we have a TV advertising, and also internet of time of advertising. And this evaluation of the digital marketing advertising will be keep for the future, and maybe for next couple of years we can we can experience a new type of digital marketing that will introduce from the company, and from the company which is will be covered from a lot of aspect, which is maybe from our wearable, from aspect of our goods, from our aspect of our cars and related. And the next thing is the daily operation will become more effectively in context increases the performance and reduce the cost operation as well. Okay, I would like to take one example is the top benefit of adopting a digital model. Digital model is the visual model or the 3D model that we make the 3D model as visually, and that model are really reflecting the real product that will produce if will produce. And what we can gain from to implement this digital model is first it will improve the operational efficiency almost 400%. And the second thing is we are meeting a changing customer expectation, which is 35%. Maybe now we already come up with this type of technology, this type of product, but we want to increase the efficiency of the product, but we don't know whether the customer will accept it or not. By using that digital model, we can have a 35% efficiency in meeting the changing customer expectation. And then of course it will improve new product quality, and also the reduce the cost of poor quality, or also uh, we can reduce also the product development costs. And by using that information system, we can eliminate the problem that we don't want to face from the perspective of the company or business. And then at the same time, we can increase our revenue, our performance, and our expected acceptance of the product in the market when we already launch it in the full scale. Okay, we already discussed the consequences of the future of information system in context of society, in context of business or management, and now we will discuss about in context of individual or society. First, the technology offered by company will become more standardized and affordable. I take example the airbag and also the GPS or navigation system in the car. Uh, Last time, if you want to enjoy this type of technology, you must buy a very expensive car, because the only expensive car uh, offer this type of technology to consumer. And and for the segment A car, usually, or segment B, usually they will not offer this type of technology. But if you look for nowadays, all the segment A already can enjoy the navigation system, and also have the safety measure, which is such as airbag. The second thing is the technology offered will increase in terms of choices, which from local and international. I take example for nowadays. We look around. We have a lot of platform. If you want to buy the things, such as Shopee or Lazada, you can buy the things from the Korea. You can buy the things from China, and also you can buy the things from the Indonesia. Last time we don't have this type of technology, but nowadays it's like a standardized, and all of us can use the technology. And the third thing is the technology will become more friendly user and the customers to cater individual needed. I take example the computer, the operating system, which like I said before, I'm starting use the computer operating system is Windows 98, and the system is not really a friendly user. We compare to nowadays, we have a Windows 10, and then we can customize to cater individual needed, which is I take one example, still the automotive industry. Last time the Ford company, uh, they will have the tagline, which is you can choose whatever color you want, as long as is a black, which means that all the product or the Ford car that time already come out with one color, which is black. But if you look for nowadays, uh, we can choose what color we like. We can choose what the um, the kit, the body kit of the car that we like. We can choose what the material that we like in the car, and this is this is the phenomenon, how the technology will play along to come out with the a platform that more friendly user and also customized for the individual needed. And then for new future, this will keep increasing and will be experienced a technology that very easy to use, and we can get a product or the goods or services that really cater our needs. For the government and the consequences of the future of Nigerian system, first, the government will become a more alike government of society, which is the government that we are like, the government that serve for people. And the second things will reduce the issue that usually face the government. I take example for nowadays. I think all of you already done I think a couple weeks ago, the tutorial which is the sebenarnya, and this is one of the technology by the government that offer for us, which is the fake news is a very important thing. The fake news is very serious thing. We must because the fake news will affect the society as well. In the long term, it will affect the economy as well, and that's why the government offer this type of technology, this type of platform, which is sebenarnya. And I believe for near future, we will have a more technology, a more platform that make the information more transparent, and the government will be more alike government that for society. Okay, we already covered the concept. We already covered what is the element that associate the business information system, and also we already covered the consequences of that future element of the business information system. And now, what we want to prepare for that future. First, in context of organization and business, first is put in the mission and vision of the company about the future adaptability. Mission and vision is very important because this two element, which is mission and vision, is will be like play a role to standardize the decision making in that company. Such as when one of the manager want to make decision whether they want to implement that type of services or they want to get that type of services, and maybe that manager will be whether they want to accept or not, they will look to the mission and vision, how the decisions are in line with the vision and mission. And another thing is vision and mission also play as uh, like a part for the employees at the company, and that norm will be embedded in their culture, and they will follow that vision and mission in line with the part which is they want to the future adaptability. The second thing is the cultivate the attitude of adaptability culture in the organization, and the third thing is have a norm across the organization which is a positive attitude and not resistant toward the changes. And how the company or a business can achieve this culture or this attitude is first promote what the value or what the benefit that the employee can get when they're using that type of technology. I take example for nowadays, such as our biometric screen biometric finger screen, or MIS system. Maybe some company don't want to implement that system, or maybe some of employers not really like to do or to use the system, and we must to promote to them, or we must to tell them what is the benefit or the value that they will get by using that type of system or that type of technology. And then another thing, how we can achieve that attitude and norm, which is by provide the training to the employee, which is the training will increase their skill, also will make them know how to operate that system in the correct way, which is there is some of the sources stated that some of why the employee or worker assistant to the technology is because they not really know the how to use or how to operate the technology, or they have the skepticism or perception that the new technology is very complicated and it's not really friendly user. But in the real world, it's not really complicated what we expected for, what we are perception for. Okay, this is an example of a good vision and action. I take one is from the Miasat company, which is a Malaysia company. The one of their vision is provide innovative and best-in-class satellite solution. As we know, this is a major company that offer the satellite services in Malaysia, and it's not limited to Malaysia. This company also have provided services at the some of country in the Asia and also in Africa. And then this is like what I'm already said that put the vision in put the vision and mission relate to the future, relate to the technology, which is create the inspiring environment for all employee to excel. Another example is from Amazon. I would like to read the last sentence, which is, we will continue to push at the boundaries of how technology, digital infrastructure, and services can improve the customer experience and help make the economies of the country where we operate more competitive on the global stage. And then we can see now, based on this mission of Amazon, it's a really um, it's a really it's a really effective. We can see they already have the warehouse, the robotic warehouse, and then they already implement one of the system at India, and that system will be integrated from the local seller and also the online seller, and the system will work out and get a lot of compliment from the sources, from the sources and also from the magazine. And then like I said before, how we can achieve or prepare for the future is always increase the skill among the employee by attending seminar, or we can hire a new skillful worker, and also allocate some budget for hardware or software in order to keep pace in adapting the new technology changes, which is I can say that for the laptop or desktop, usually the lifespan for the laptop and for desktop or PC is about 3 or 5 years. But of course, in the some condition, we can use more than 5 years, but it will limit the capability of the laptop to use some of the software, or also to keep with the operating system. They will slightly lag, but and that's why the company needs always allocate some amount of budget for the hardware to software in order the they keep in line with the changes, or adapting to new technology changes. For individual or society, they have more or less same with the organization, which is we must also allocate some of budget for ourselves to buy a new device or a new smartphone or new laptop. And then we also must to attend or to read around about the new product, a new software, and this is how we can keep ourselves in line with the changes of the world. Okay, I believe for the past we already discussed about the concept into the future. We already know what is the consequences of the future associate business information system, and also we already know what the preparation that we must to do uh, for the future world. And then what is the next 20 years or 40 years, and what is the possibility for the next 20 years or 40 years, there will be a new market for the business. And the second things, there will a new nature of business will be introduced, and there will be new product to prospect for the consumer, which is based on the forecasting for the next 10 or 20 years or more, the charging station will be very popular, because if we look to the some big companies such as Toyota, one of their mission or vision, they want all of their product line come out with a hybrid car, which is the hybrid car or fully electric car. And then if uh, all of us already start to use the hybrid car or the fully electric car, so the needed towards the charging electric charging station will be increased. And then in terms of travel, for the next 20 years or 30 years or more, the travel industry is forecast will be increased, will be become more bigger. And then because of a need from the among the customer or among the society, they will trigger to the trigger to the company to come out with a new type of transportation, which is maybe the supersonic aircraft will be relaunched, because previously we have a Concorde, and maybe for near future we have a new supersonic aircraft. And then in terms of transportation, also in terms of transportation, which is the high speed train will be introduced in many areas in the world, which is we can go for one place just for just in very short time. Maybe usually we need 5 hours, but with the bullet train or the high speed train, we just only less than 1 hours. And then another thing that maybe will be a trigger, or we will push out the technology related to the travel industry, which is the advanced identification, which is which is for nowadays, if we go to the airport, we must manually um, to scan our passport, to scan our other identity. And the new future, there will be a very fast system. They just scan our stuff. They just scan our. We just go one scanner portal maybe, and then like we walk away, we walk, and we are okay. Okay. We the management of the airport know our entity, and the company of the airlines we know our entity. And then of course there will be a new era for the all organization, including on ourselves, and we must prepare for this changing and not resist, because uh, it will be a determinant for our next career, or our next future, or our next objective. I think that's all for me. Thank you very much.